Hi friends, I am Dr. Sharma and in this talk we will see how to evaluate the various causes of hematuria by a simple urine examination and differentiate whether it is a nephrological or a urological cause. Now whenever there is hematuria, either gross or microscopic, the cause could be either a medical disease or a surgical problem. Now the morphology of RBC is the first thing which can help us in differentiating between these two situations. To evaluate the morphology of RBCs, we need a centrifuged urine sample and a phase contrast microscopy. This has been a traditional teaching that the morphology is evaluated best by a phase contrast microscopy. But Schramek in 1989 have shown that with experience even a conventional microscopy is good enough. If there is presence of dysmorphic RBCs, it indicates that the hematuria is from a glomerular cause, and if it is a proper eumorphic RBC, that is a circular RBC, then it is either a urological disease or a tubular interstitial disease. So whenever there is hematuria which is picked up on urine microscopic evaluation, we need to distinguish glomerular causes from non-glomerular causes. The glomerular causes of hematuria will have presence of dysmorphic RBCs, RBC casts and proteinuria. While non-glomerular hematuria, it could be on account of a medical cause, which is because of a tubular interstitial disease or because of a surgical reason. Now we need to remember that 20% of cases of glomerular hematuria will have RBCs alone, but no RBC casts or proteinuria. Now I had already mentioned that glomerular hematuria is characterized by presence of dysmorphic RBCs, RBC casts and proteinuria. But we need to remember that only the RBCs are seen in 20% of cases and no RBC casts or proteinuria is seen in these cases, which means that there can be some discrepancy in diagnosis based plainly on microscopic evaluation. Now there are a number of causes of glomerular hematuria. IgA nephropathy or Buerger's disease tops the list with the incidence being about 30%. Now what are the causes of non-glomerular hematuria? As mentioned earlier, it could be a medical cause or a urological, that is a surgical cause. The medical causes are tubular interstitial disease, renovascular diseases or a systemic disorder, while the surgical causes are either a urological tumor, stones or urinary tract infection. Now how do we differentiate between the two? Now if we look at a non-glomerular hematuria, there would be a eumorphic circular RBC in both a medical or a surgical cause. In both the situation, there are no RBC casts which are seen. But the way to differentiate is looking at the presence of proteins. If there is proteinuria, then it's a medical cause. If there is no proteinuria, then it is a surgical cause. Now there is a growing incidence of population who is on anticoagulants like clopidogrel or aspirin. And these are the patients who sometimes present with gross hematuria or microscopic hematuria. Now in one study it has been found that the incidence of hematuria in these patients who are on anticoagulants is about 3.2%, while the incidence of hematuria in patients who are not on anticoagulants is about 4.8%, which means that the difference is not statistically significant, which implies that anticoagulation at normal therapeutic levels does not predispose patients to hematuria. So if there is presence of hematuria in patients on anticoagulants, it means that there is either an excessive anticoagulation or there is hematuria is basically a manifestation of an underlying disease. So friends, if we need to differentiate the causes of hematuria from a nephrological, from a urological cause and come to a conclusion, the three basic things which are needed are a good history, because that can differentiate a medical from a surgical cause. Urine analysis, where we can get a finer idea about whether it is a glomerular, postglomerular or a parenchymal cause. And then certain investigations which could be biochemical and radiological investigations which can help us in clinching the cause of hematuria. We will be going into the details of this in our next talk on management and evaluation of asymptomatic microscopic hematuria. Thanks a lot. For further such videos, log on to edmedonline.com.